Hello and welcome to the third of our candidate debates for this year's RG Union student elections. We're streaming live on Instagram at RG Union from here in the Students' Union in our Riverside building on the Garth campus. I'd like to start by thanking everyone and welcoming everyone who is joining us today, whether you're joining online or joining here in the room, and a big thank you to all of our candidates for taking part as well. My name's Ross Leaven. I'm the Student Experience and Partnership Manager here at the university, and I'm also a former president of Communication Democracy, and I'm delighted to be here today to host today's debate. So, how do the elections work? Well, this year there are 7 candidate roles being contested for our president and vice president roles as part of the Students' Union elections. Voting takes place online next week from Tuesday to Thursday, but this week is all about you finding out what the candidates want you to know before you cast your vote. It's your chance to find out who they are, what they plan to do if they're elected, and why they are running for the roles. Today, we're running our third of the candidate debates, and this year the union is running these debates to give you a chance to hear directly from the candidates themselves. We're talking to the candidates today for the role of President of Communication and Democracy, and tomorrow you can also tune in at the same time to hear from our vice presidential candidates as well. We'll start off by hearing directly from the candidates. They'll have a chance to outline their manifesto aims, let you know what they want to achieve if you vote them into the role, and also why they think you should vote for them. We'll then have a chance to give some questions to them. We'll start off with some general questions for the role that they've all applied for, and then we'll ask them specific questions based on their manifestos as well. But most importantly, we want to hear from you, and we want your questions as well. Whether you're here in the room with us or whether you're online, please do submit your questions and we'll do our best to get through them all. If you're watching on Instagram, you can comment below, and if you're here in the room, please put your hand up and one of the teams will come to speak to you. So, for this year's election for the role of President of Communication Democracy, we have 3 candidates who are joining us here today. We have Jasper, we have Brian, and we have Rich. All of the candidates will now have 2 minutes to introduce themselves and talk to you about what they want to achieve this year, and I'll ask them to speak in alphabetical order, and we'll start with Jasper.
Thank you. My name is Jasper Iberon Bay, a public health student, postgraduate level, MSc. I'm running for communication and democracy, and I'll be looking at 3 main priorities. 1, strengthening student communication, which is very, very important. Every student needs to be communicated and needs to be connected to the union decisions. And I'll also be enhancing career and sponsorship opportunities for students. As the General Secretary of Nigerian Student Society, I have been able to partner with a lot of organizations. So I'll also expand my partnership with more organizations to be able to encourage and enhance internship, sponsorship, and career opportunities for every RGU student. And my third priority will be building an inclusive and engaging campus for all RGU students, including international, part-time, full-time students, irrespective of their backgrounds or race. Thank you.
And next, we will hear from Brian.
Thank you very much, Ross. So, my name is Brian Igbinige. I am the current student union president for Communication and Democracy 7. So, I'm running to be re-elected for this role. And I would say, while being president of Communication and Democracy, I have delivered well on my promises and aims. And I think there is need for us to improve on what we've started. And this is the reason why I asked to be voted for again. So my priority aims for this coming election is 1, to enhance student participation and engagement in union activities. As the current serving president, I think I am well enough to understand what the union is actually going through. I mean, in terms of participation and engagement from students. So I think we have done well to increase the participation of students based on union activities, but there's more to still be done. And first, we need to educate students on the importance of governance and leadership. Students should not be all about the activities that the union wants to do, but also be interested in the governance of the union and take part. Also, I want to advocate for integration of AI into our academics. I think it's about time that we are being taught on how to use AI and not to use AI. And also, I'm looking forward to advocating for the support for union future development and expansion services. The union, there's been clamor from students asking for expansion for services, and it's been proposed that we are asking the university to assist us in expanding our services or expanding our space and services. And if I become president, this is a campaign that I want to be part of. I want to make sure that all students' feedback are being looked into for us to address this union development and the space. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian, and we'll now hear from Rich.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rich Doagbenause, standing for President, Communication, Democracy, and I'm before you today to ask for your votes. I am standing for the main reason that I believe currently a lot of students feel disconnected from the union, and I feel we need to engage them more. Some do not really understand the mandate and activities of the union. Some don't even feel like they know their leaders throughout the whole semester academic year. This I believe we can correct by engaging them more. So my 3 criteria is: 1, to promote student engagement and support, and this I think I will do by attending student voice meetings that I regularly organize for all modules to understand their concern for improvement. Hold periodic meetings with students to account for our stewardship as leaders, which is very important. Foster stronger relations with City Council and other community groups in the interest of students. Build strong network with the embassies where we have all students coming from for benefits for most students that currently have issues. Make the union more friendly and welcoming for every student to walk in and speak up on their academic and personal issues for support. Second area is to promote cultural diversity and inclusivity. This I think I will do by encouraging cultural dances on National Day celebration by various societies to promote cultural diversity, exhibition, and integration. Promote RGU branded local dresses from different nationalities to encourage more students to buy them and advertising RGU in their various home countries. Lobby for more local food to be sold in the school restaurant is very important. And also encourage students from all gender orientations and students with disabilities to participate fully in all events, which currently I feel is not. Third is to promote good health and well-being for all students, and this you can trust me on. Thank you so much. Counting on your vote.
Thank you very much to all of you for your introductions there. Next, we're going to put some questions to each of the candidates. Candidates will be asked questions in order, and each will have a chance to answer each question. Following that, candidates, you'll then have the chance to come back in to talk again. Is there anything you disagree with, anything you'd like to add, or any further discussion you'd like to add as well? And you have 1 minute to answer each of the questions. And we'll start with you again, Rich, this time. So, the first question is that a major element of the role involves helping the union's different societies and student-led groups. What challenges do you think that these societies and groups are currently encountering, and how will you work with them to support them to overcome these?
Yes, so when I observe very well, one of the roles we have is a vice president for societies. And this, I guess, in the wisdom of the framers of this union, constitution, and all of that, crafted this position to be able to harness and bring them together so that the activities can be well coordinated under the umbrella of the union for support and implementations. But I'm quite surprised that at the end of the nominations, we don't have any candidates standing for that position as of now. And that I'm wondering how the union is handling it to get somebody there, because I feel that position need to be filled to be able to coordinate all the activities of the various societies and bring them and the activities, what they intend to do, so that it can be well implemented by the union support.
Thank you very much. And next to Jasper.
Yeah. Okay, can you ask the question again?
Absolutely. So a major element of the role involves supporting the union's various societies and student-led groups. I wonder what you think the main challenges are that they're facing, and how we work with them to overcome these.
Yeah, I have to strengthen collaboration or partnership working with all student society and cultural societies, and that is very, very important because each societies have different students, and different students who made up of each society made up of all the whole RGU student. So strengthening my partnership working with them and constant communication with them, with meeting with them, we definitely pass across a lot of information about the union decision, the union motion, and the union plan to the whole students also. So the challenges is that the partnership working with some societies is not really, really strong. So as President of Communication and Democracy, it will be my duty to strengthen the partnership working with all student society and all cultural societies.
Thank you very much. And over to Brian now.
Same question, right? Yeah, thank you very much, Ross. So, as a president who's still serving, and amongst my duties to be part of the development of all societies, so I've observed like a lacuna in this aspect. But then again, what I tell people is participation. You know, societies should encourage their members to participate in whatever event that they're having. And then again, I've been working with, I don't want to mention the name now, but I've been working with the activities coordinator, trying on how we can improve participation in the society forums, because we do monthly forum for all societies, and the participation have not really been encouraging. But we're trying currently to look for how we can best resolve this problem. And by doing this, we are looking for possible ways, to bridge this gap. So personally, I would say it is always difficult to lead, but leaders who are leading in different societies should have this sense of bringing all members together, give them the idea that if you do this, you're doing it. It's a voluntary role, but whatever you do. Okay.
Thank you very much. Run out of time there. So you've now all had a chance to speak on that question. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add? Anything you disagree with? Any other points that, based on what the other candidates have said? No? Okay, we'll move on to the next question, and we'll start with you on this one, Brian. So there are around 40 societies currently affiliated with the union, and the number have been consistent for a number of years now. How do you plan to increase the number of new societies created next year?
Thank you very much. So first of all, the numbers are 40 now, but when I came it was 30 plus, it wasn't 40. So part of my plans was to increase the number of societies, cultural society, academic and non-academics. And I think in my time as president, we've had over 12 societies, new societies, Palestinian Society, Kuwait, we've had Social Applied Science Society, we've had a lot of societies. I can't really get the names on top of my head right now. Market Society, Forensic Society, Nutrition and Diabetics, we've had BLW, a lot of societies. So that was part of the aims I said I was going to achieve, increase the number of societies. So I'm doing that already, and I plan to do more. And by the end of my 10, or even this one I am right now, I hope on increasing societies to be like 60 or 70. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we're going to Rich next.
Yes, so I believe it's not the number of societies that will do the job, because if we create too many societies on campus, it will kind of weaken the umbrella functions of the union, where everybody wants to associate more with their societies than what the general union is doing. So I believe we need to sit with the various groupings currently, find out the challenges they have, why they're not cooperating well with the union activities, and if there's any need to create a new societies, then we can look into it. But I don't really believe too many societies on campus will help the union function well with its umbrella programs. Thank you.
Thank you. And on to Jasper next.
Well, I will want to criticize that because as a public health student, we have to be critically oriented. More societies includes more students, and more students gives us inclusion, gives every student inclusion into the union decision. So more societies is definitely needed. And how can I be able to achieve that? I still have to reach out to the students through student polls, interactive content like polls, question and answer, student giving suggestion, okay, what societies they would love to see and they will want to join. And that is very, very important in my administration, because not all students are interested in some societies. They want to have their own societies also. So getting that opinion from them and working on it and developing the society, that would definitely pass more information across about the union decision and also make them feel included into the community, school community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've obviously had some opposing views there from you all. Anyone want to add anything else?
Yeah, thank you very much. So my point was also to not be part of what he has started. First, before saying that, I want to say, as of last year, we had 1,600 registered members, society members, from January to December. But as of now, we already have like 1,500 registered members, just at the first quarter of the year. So that's an improvement on our side. So, but I want to also say I do not agree with his point, because we need to represent, we need all representation, as many as we can. It's part of inclusion. So I think we need more societies and not reduce the number that we're having. Thank you.
That's great, thank you. Rich?
So what I said is we have so many societies currently. If you look on the union website, you have so many societies, and I've been here for 2 semesters, and I can say for sure that not many of those societies are very active. So how do we get the existing ones active and working to the interest of all members and for the benefit of the bigger union? That's my main point. So if you get those ones working, then other ones that there's need to create, fine, but not go on creating spree without making them effective and working.
Thank you. Any other points you'd like to raise? Brian?
First of all, that's why we have the activities coordinator and even my role and that of the VP societies, and the reason why we also have societies forum. So we encourage these schools, society schools to come. We try to develop them, tell them what they should do to grow their societies. So training these people should be what we should advance on, and not stopping them from encouraging people to get new societies. So I don't know if he's a member of any society, but I think we need more societies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything else anyone would like to add? No? You're all good? No, just
I'm still standing on the motion that we need more society to get across to more students and make them feel included into the school community.
thank you very much. So some good discussion on that question there. We'll start with you this time, Jasper. So some societies and student groups find it difficult to encourage students to step up to take on the role of committee members to help run those groups. How would you tackle this?
Okay, so firstly, I'm going to enhance transparency. The first step is to enhance transparency in democratic representation. I also enhance transparency by creating like a campaign or maybe like a training for every student to actually, develop their leadership skills and actually gain more experience. So working with the societies and passing the information across to the society members whereby, there's a leadership campaign going on or there's a leadership training going on, it will actually bring more students and motivate more students to want to participate into it and want to let me try and lead and let me try and fit into this position.
Thank you very much. Next to you, Rich.
Yeah, so as the communication and democracy president, I guess one of our functions is to support other executives to implement their manifesto or action plans. So I'll be very visible at most of these society meetings, and also help the leaders to understand that accountability in leadership is very key in building trust among members. And if these various society leaders can be very transparent and accountable to their leaders, hold periodic meeting to know how they fund most of the programs they do, and then what the timelines they put to this program, how are they able to implement them within their tenure office. These will strengthen and deepen trust among the members, and be committed to help and contribute more in every program they organize and be more active. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And on to you, Brian.
Sorry, Ross, can you come back with the question again? Thank you.
Absolutely. So some societies and student groups find it difficult to get members to step up and take on the committee roles to help run the groups. How would you combat this?
Question, I think both of them did not answer it then, because I was thinking it was relating to what they were saying. So the question, if I get you, is that how would you encourage society ESCOs to get people who take up the leadership, right? Is that not what you're questioning? Okay.
Correct.
So I was opportune to also be the president of Nigerian Society before I became the student union president. What I tell people is when people are volunteering, just little to more that you can do to persuade them to do what you need them to do. So first of all, my first approach is do not rely too much on anybody. Encourage them, but always double cast people. When people see that some other person is doing what they should be doing, is doing it better than them, they'll be moved, motivated to do it. So encourage people, look at people whenever you are leading, people who have passion for whatever you are doing, watch them closely. And again, always thank them, appreciate them for the little effort that they are doing. whenever they do something right, I appreciate them. If they do something wrong, yeah, you can let them know, but always appreciate them as a leader. And trust me, they will be looking forward to taking leadership and, serving people, whether voluntary, paid, or whatever. And I will always say, to be a leader, you have to be a follower. You understand? If you're not a good follower, you can't be a good leader.
That's great, thank you. Anyone with anything to add?
I guess he answered the same question the way we answered, and he started by saying we didn't answer the question, so I don't know what different he said.
Well, I'm going to just add to what he said. Encouraging is very, very important. And how can I encourage everybody to participate into leadership? We can do that with student drives with voting drives. When you reach out to people and you encourage them, you appreciate them, and you see the potential in them leading, and that still goes back to when I said campaign. We need campaign on school whereby it encourages every student. When they see the campaign, it encourages them to participate in leadership process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything that anyone would like to add? No? Okay, so for this one, we'll start with you, Rich, the last question before we go. Have a chance to hear from anyone in the room or online. So one of the key roles in this role includes working with the National Union of Students. So I wonder if you could let me know what your opinions are on the union's relationship with the NUS.
Please the question again.
So one of the key aspects of the role is working with the National Union of Students. So I wonder if you could let me know what your opinion is on the union's relationship with the NUS.
Yeah, so I know the RG Union is a member body of the National Union. So as a communication and democracy president, one of the functions is to represent the union on national union meetings. And that alone helps you to participate fully, represent the school on the views of the RG Union in the matters of national interest. So you're representing RG interest in those meetings, and also feedback the local union on what general union is expecting or wants to do, seek their opinions, and then see how improvement could be made either locally or things that we cannot do locally, how we can use the bigger umbrella union to speak up and help get those things done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll come on to Jasper next.
Okay. So can you repeat the question again?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the key aspects of the role is to be the contact with the National Union of Students. So I wonder if you could tell me what your thoughts are on the union's relationship with the NUS.
Okay. By the union relationship with the national students,
Yes.
Okay, so I said I'm going to strengthen the RGU engagement within the National Union students and represent students' interest at national events. And that's the first thing I'm going to do, because I am representing, if I go for any National Union students event, I am representing the interest of all the whole RGU students. So I am definitely going to strengthen RGU engagement within the NUS.
Thank you. And over to you, Brian.
Thank you very much. This is the reason why I would still say I'm the best candidate for this role, actually, because, like I said, I'm currently president, and I've had a very good relationship with the NUS UK, and I look forward to continuing this relationship and further represent RGU nationally. I've been able to participate or been part of a lot of campaigns done by the NUS, and on top of the list is the housing campaign, which we did sometimes in October last year. The housing campaign was as regards housing crisis for students. So we went to Westminster in London to advocate for, abolishing of guarantors and, huge deposits for housing and all that. And we're blessed to have this granted, one of them, but we are still on the other one, and we hope that we'll get some good result on all this. So my point is, we've really had good relationship with NUS, and we also do our sabbatical networking meetings. So I've been part of all this, and I look forward to having a stronger relationship with them. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you very much. Anything anyone would like to add? Jasper?
Fresh engagements, new relationship with them is also not bad. So if a particular candidate already have a relationship with them, there is nothing wrong with a relationship with the National Union student. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I believe this engagement and meeting, being part of the meeting or represent the school on national student union meetings, is an incumbent function of the position. And does not matter whether you are old or new. it's incumbent on you to undertake those functions and do it properly to the benefit of the school. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything anyone would like to add? Brian?
I don't always want to go back to my time before RGU. You know, before I became RGU Student Union President, I was opportunity to also be Student Union President during my undergrads. So I have also the opportunity to be, then we call it being a senator, sorry. So I was a senator representing the national body also. So these experiences are something that I think, like he said, or the both of them said, it's always good to have new approach. Like anybody can, you know, fit in. Yeah, but you cannot compare prior experience to someone who's just coming, who will be trained. The time you'll be trained and the time I will kick off will not be the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
I am a very fast learner with a lot of international competence on conferencing and meeting with international people years before getting to RGU. So I wouldn't need any training. All that I need is the normal orientation that we done for every person. That's all.
So I don't think leadership is also mainly by experience. Yeah, it's also, you know, by showing that you are the best candidates and how you can be able to foster relationship with anyone you meet in office and how you can be able to make it work. So the idea of experience, we are all experienced, and I'm also experienced, so definitely. So I don't see where the experience is coming from.
Okay, I feel we've drifted quite far from the question, so one more and then we'll move on.
So when he mentioned, listen, so when he said leadership is not by experience, so basically experience is not just about leadership. It's about all sphere of life, or all sphere in life. Understand? So saying that experience is not about leadership, or leadership is not about experience, I totally disagree with that. Because in whatever you're doing in life, whether leadership or what have you, you need experience. And he said it doesn't need training. I don't get it. How would you work without getting trained? If the knowledge that you have in your course that you're studying now, are you going to use that for the union? Yes, I contested for the union. I won. I had stuff in my head I was going to do, but I went through training, and I had to understand that some of these things should be done this way, not the way I thought. Understand? So saying that you do not need training is actually baffling to me, and also saying that you don't need experience to be a leader is baffling to me too. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we'll move on now. There'll be lots of chance to discuss later on. What I would ask is, going forward, if we try to answer the questions that I ask, that would be really helpful as well. So, next, have we got any questions from here in the room or from online? In the room.
Okay, this is for Rich. I'm going through your some of your priorities and aims. So one of it was the feasibility in procuring the e-bikes stuff, and so how feasible do you think that is in terms of funding sources and maintenance? How feasible do you think that would be?
Thank you very much for this question. In fact, RGU, as we speak, just last week I was fortunate to be part of a training course. We call it as a carbon literacy course, which we actually intended to add it to the curricula going forward. It's a training to ensure RGU grow or increase from carbon footprint to handprint. And one of the tenets is how we reduce carbon emission. UK government currently have a policy on Go Green. Go Green is a policy to promote zero carbon emission, and one of the priority areas is promoting the use of bicycle. So government currently is encouraging employers to help employees acquire bicycle and pay an installment. So those are the agencies I'm going to work with to procure those e-bikes. It's very easy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions?
My question is for Brian. Previously, you said you've done a good job, and I've seen that you've done a good job, or you are doing a good job rather. But you started with the training, just the way you said. So why do you feel that the other people are not capable because they are not trained yet? But you were trained one day, weren't you?
So thank you very much for the question. And please do not get me wrong. No one is incapable. We are all capable, you understand? And when I mentioned training, he said that it doesn't need training. He mentioned. So again, I have been trained. I know the job. They will be trained. It takes time to train. If I'm kicking off, it won't be the same time they are kicking off. Because if they win, maybe, I know they will not win me. If they win, maybe, the time they're going to be used to, to get used to the training and all that, I might have been thinking of doing a better project, like doing something else. Understand? That's when they'll be learning. So, like I said, they are capable. I'm not saying that they are not capable. Thank you.
Very much. Rich?
So the union has a timeline for this position. So we have a handing over per period, we have training period. So it depends on you as an individual. If you are a fast learner, within the handing over period, 1 month handing over is enough to read through document and kickstart. So the union, in its wisdom, has all this timeline for anybody in that position, whether fresh or continuing, to be able to understand the graphs of the job and work hard. So that's enough for me. That's why I was saying that I'm not a novice, neither am I an elementary student. I'm a graduate for Christ's sake. So the graphs of things I have up to this level should be able to help me pick up very fast during the handing over period and kickstart very well.
Okay, one response from Brian there, and then we'll move on to a question.
So,
from online.
Mr. Rich, it's easier said than done, actually. I would still say I'm a learning in progress, actually. Whatever sphere of job you're looking for, whether being president or any role, you will most times learn the job. You'll be trained, yes, obviously you'll be trained, but that's not it. That's not everything that you need. You're still going to learn in the job. I am still learning. So the time it will take them to get to where I am, I must have achieved a lot. That's what I meant. So saying that there's a time limit for training, you do training for probably a month and all that. But while you're in the job, till date, I still go to the office of the chief exec to ask questions. I still go to meet the active coordinator to ask questions after over 8 months. Understand? So you're not going to think because you say you're a fast learner, you know everything once, you're just going to know everything, and that's it, you just start running the whole thing by yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much for that. And we have a question from Instagram as well.
Yeah, we've got a question coming in from Instagram, which is saying, what strategies are going to be employed to revive existing societies who are not active yet still relevant?
And we'll start with you, Rich, to begin with.
Thank you so much for that question. So as I said in my earlier comments, so we have several water societies currently. So I may mention that my agenda will be visiting all the society meetings to understand what is their status, how active are members. Because some of the WhatsApp group and some of the groups, you have members over 100, but active members are less than 20. So I need to speak to these leaders to understand how active they are, what are the challenges, how do I help? So I help them implement programs that will enthuse the members and get them on board. Then other new ones that we think are relevant, we can be looked at. But the existing one, I'll work with the leaders to make sure they are all very, very vibrant and active. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And on to Jasper next.
Okay, can you ask the question again, please?
Yeah, the question was, what strategies are going to be employed to revive existing societies who are not active yet still relevant?
What strategies will I employ?
Perhaps a society that has gone dormant, but it's still relevant to the student body.
So the first strategy I'm going to do is to develop a meeting with them, get to know the roots of the problem or why they are dormant. And that comes with partnership working. Okay, how can we make it work? And definitely constant communication with them is very, very important, and engaging them, making them feel included into the union and also into the school community is very, very important. And so with that of my strategy with engagement and transparency, it definitely will revive some inactive members of the society back to being active.
And now you, Brian?
I was just moving again to say that they did not answer the question. Yes, because if your society is dormant, how are they going to have meetings that you will attend? Then you also mentioned something. So one person is not cannot answer for all this. I understand that president can actually stand up for a society, but then again, that president is just an individual, not a forum, or cannot form a forum. So first of all, answering the question, we always advise people who are having challenges with their society to come up to the union. There are videos that have been drafted or that have been done by the activities coordinator to encourage students who are facing societies who are facing challenges to go through and learn on how to improve on what they are doing, on how to boost their membership, and how to encourage ESCOs. So first, I would say personally emailing the leader, the president, who.
Thank you very much. Your time is up there, unfortunately. Anyone, anything else to add?
You said you email them, and technically, it's the same with developing a meeting with them. So, society is dormant here, but the ESCOs are not dormant. So, developing a meeting with the ESCO is the first step. You reach out to the executive first before you reach out to the member.
Thank you.
So, Brian is the current president, and the guys is asking that they're saying some of the societies are dormant. He is the current president. People are saying reality, what we have currently as of today. Some of the societies are dormant. So what you're saying should have been done so that they are not dormant. So if we are proposing new ideas, you don't say we are not answering the question. Because if your questions or the answers you have been active or working, we wouldn't have them dormant.
Brian?
Excuse me, guys. Yeah. Thank you very much. So we are actually doing a lot of work to revive dormant societies. For example, we used to have Palestinian societies before, but just now we have them set up again. We used to have Indian societies before, but they went into thing here. But now we're bringing them back again. We also are just reviving. I think a lot of societies that we are reviving that were not existing before, that was existing before. Even the applied social sciences, they used to exist, but now they are back again. So we are doing a good job to revive these dormant societies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jasper?
But you say you are well trained and well experienced, so you are still doing a good job?
I didn't hear what you said, sorry.
You said you are well experienced, so how is that difficult? And you are still in progress in reviving dormant society, which should have been done.
So before I give it to you, I think if you look at leadership, there comes a time where your follower become fatigued, either in your style or your approach or something. And there's just a need for a new face, and everything you start, it really ignites the fire. So we need a new face at this level of the life of the union to revive, and all of them be revived automatically. Thank you.
Thank you. Brian, I'll give you a chance to reply, and then we really do have to move on.
I said I'm experienced, so why am I still in the process, right? Is that your question? Yeah. First of all, I will tell you something, yeah? Even if as the society president of Nigerian society, yeah, it is still difficult to move your members, okay? That doesn't mean that you're not going to try and encourage your members to participate. So if you're saying or you're thinking that as a president, I should be able to revive all dormant societies, like within this space that I have spent, then I bet you to it if you can do it. You cannot do it. It's going to be progress. Progress is continual. You are still going to continue doing it. Even if you do presidency for 2 years, 3 years, doesn't mean all dormant societies will be up. But the thing is, how much have you done to make sure you revive a large number of them? So I don't know how you think magic is going to happen. It's a voluntary service. It's a voluntary service. And people, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the next section now. What we'd ask if you all try and listen exactly to what the question is. I think we've had some good discussion about how capable you think each other are. But it'd be really good for everyone watching to hear a little bit about what you plan to do as well. So we've had a read through each of your manifestos, and we've put together a question based on what you've included in there in terms of your priority aims and in terms of your wider manifesto as well. We'll give you 1 minute to answer, and again, there'll be time for discussion after each, and we're going to start with Rich this time. So, Rich, in your manifesto, and kind of leading on from a question that was asked earlier, you talked about introducing an e-rental bike scheme. You talked about introducing and extending the breakfast club that's currently available from 1 day per week to 5, and you talked about doubling the frequency of emergency food parcel collections. Given the current financial challenges here at the university that are likely to impact the union's income levels in future years, how are you going to fund these?
Yes, so I am a very I'm a student who is very inquisitive and very researching at all time. Within my 6 months of being at RGU, I've done a bit of research around. I know we have quite a lot of food banks in Aberdeen. Actually, not less than 50 different food banks. I have a list of them. I've visited quite a lot of them to familiarize myself with their activities and their work and all of that. And these are people I'm going to partner with to make sure they help us fund this. So it's not going to be any fund from, they are people, they already have these services and they want to give it out. So we only partner with them to help us with the supply. That is all.
Okay, thank you very much. Jasper, the next question is for you. So you talk in your manifesto about introducing monthly union feedback sessions where students can voice concerns directly to the union. How would these differ from the current students' voice sessions that take place each year?
So what I mean by monthly student feedback session, I mean like student interview, going around the campus interviewing students on what they want and suggesting policies that they want the union to do. So that is what I definitely mean by introducing monthly student union feedback session. So interviewing students, I have a saying, if they don't come to you, you go to them. So monthly feedback session, monthly feedback interview with the students on what policies or what development they want to see. So doing that monthly makes us know the regular policies that every student wants to see on campus.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll come on to Brian for your question and then we'll have some further chance for discussion as well. So Brian, your manifesto talks about enhancing academic development and assessment through AI integration and also discussing solving the disconnect between students and student representatives as well. Why do you feel these aims align with the President of Communication and Democracy role and not the President of Education and Welfare? And how will you deliver them without encroaching on the remit of that role?
So if you go down to what is the biggest challenge RG is facing, I made mention there. I said I am going to work with the President of Education and Welfare. I know definitely it's not entirely, or not even entirely, it's not even tallying on my role, but that doesn't mean I should, have a blind eye over issues that are facing students or issues that students are facing, rather. So I do tell people, unionism or being a leader, president generally, is about advocacy and welfare. The fact that I am communication and democracy doesn't mean if I see issues happening as regards to education and welfare, then I should keep quiet about it. I can discuss with the President of Education and Welfare. If it's regarding sports-related issues, I can speak with the sport president. I initiated, or rather I suggested that we should have an inter-school match for different schools, have a match, a football competition with different schools. That's in the resume of this president of sports. But when I had that in my head, I had to discuss with the president of sports. So what I mean is we have to intertwine, we have to work one-on-one with each other. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So there you've had the chance to answer questions on funding for rental schemes, other student life activities in the union. You've had the chance to talk about your monthly feedback sessions and also reps and artificial intelligence. Is there anything else that any of you would like to add to the points that have been made?
Yeah, so the question I was asked earlier about funding for the expansion of those, the breakfast and all of that, the food parcel and all of that. As I said, as we speak, I have made contacts. I have a list of over 50 food banks that are very ready to partner in this. And it's not going to be any extra fund from the school coffers. Then on the e-bike also, I've already answered that I know the government agencies that are championing the Go Green that I'm going to partner with to procure these e-bikes. Currently, I ride bicycle. If you go to the school workshop, we have bikes there that nobody is using. And these are union money that's locked up. How do we make them useful? By converting them to e-bike. That's the suggestion.
Okay. Anything that anyone else would like to add? Or add to any of the previous points made?
Yeah. So, and also, regards AI integration. So, currently I'm serving in the union. So, I have been opportunity to see students coming to the office talking about how They have plagiarism issue, AI-related issues and all that, and they've been facing panel. I've also been opportunity to be in one of the panels, even though it's not my role, but I was assigned to be there because the President for Education and Welfare was not available at that time. So I started seeing reasons why the schools should let them know how to use it and not entirely say you shouldn't use it at all. Understand? So AI has come to stay, if you ask me. That's come to stay. You can use it to advance on your academic writings or work, but learn to use it well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jasper, you all good?
Mine is straightforward. Introducing student monthly feedback session or interview. So it's very, very straightforward. Interview students every month. Ask them to suggest policies they want to see on campus. So definitely.
Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions online? Yes.
Yes, we've got a couple coming in through Instagram just now. One to Brian specifically, relating to your aims from last year's election and whether you believe that you've achieved those. And then a general one for all candidates, which states, how will you hold yourself and your team accountable for the promises made during this campaign?
All right. Thank you very much. Yes. First of all, if I have not achieved what I said I was going to achieve, I don't think I'd have the guts to sit down here and say I want to run again. I had 3 priorities last year. My first priority was to advocate for flexible payment of tuition fee. And just during the AGM last year in February, I proposed a motion for flexibility for tuition payment. And, as it was done, the university accepted that. And now I will say that from last year's September intake, they're benefiting from that motion that will be moved. And that's my first aim being achieved. Then the second aim was to improve, which I also added to this year aim, was to improve on letting the students know more about the awareness of the union, the activities. And I found that if you do not let them get involved with the governance and leadership, it might reduce their involvement in other activities. And we've been doing a lot to make that happen. That's why I introduced the meet and greet on different buildings. Every month, at the end of every month, I do a meet and greet session with my team, setting up a stall, talking to students, letting them know about the union, the welfare products, and all.
Thank you,
Thank you
very much for that. Anyone got anything else to add to that one before we come on to the second question? No? Okay, so the second question was about how you will all hold yourself accountable for the aims that you've proposed this year. So we'll start with you, Jasper.
How I'm going to hold myself accountable? Definitely, I'll definitely achieve all my priority aims. And one of my main points in my manifesto is transparency. So so when there's transparency, then there's accountability. So once I'm being transparent and I'm reaching out to every student on a regular basis, they will be able to see my progress and they will be able to see what I'm doing. And if they see what I'm doing is not right, they suggest ideas to me, they suggest policies to me, and that is why I said I want to introduce the student monthly feedback session, whereby I can hear new policies or I can hear their voices and I can be able to work on it and make sure that their voices are being heard and concerned. And make sure my voices are being heard and concerned. I was also a co-speaker at the 2024 Union AGM, where I also spoke about the tuition fee instrumental plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to Brian next and then come back to you, Rich.
So I'm going to be held accountable for my aims. So firstly, I was opportune also to be amongst the Democratic Review Committee, and in the committee, I was privileged to propose something called the Student Parliament, which has been accepted, added to the new structure that we are looking forward to using from next year. The Student Parliament is a body where executive members can be held accountable for what they've done, what they said they're going to do, and if they actually did it. So that already is like a check and balance house, like a check and balance platform where if you're not doing right, if you're not doing what you say you're going to do, there can be a vote of no confidence on you. So if I was part of that committee and I accepted or agreed that parliament should be set up, then it's a way of me saying all SAB executives should be checkmates. Like they should be asked on delivering their aims. They should be asked on what they said they were going to do, if they actually did it or not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then on to you, Rich.
Yeah, so if you look on my first aim, I have it there that I feel we need to be, as leadership, we need to account for our stewardship. So I will hold periodic meeting with the student, and I propose once every semester, at the end of every semester, there will be, currently we have AGM, but I think 1 year is too long to account. So I'm proposing every semester, I'll make sure myself and my colleagues are held accountable, where we account to our people, what we've done within the semester, and what we intend to do next, take feedbacks, and also attend the current instituted student voice session. That students are allowed to voice out their challenges. So far, within the 2 semesters, I've not seen what leadership there. I want to be the first to start attending that meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and a big thank you to you all for those answers and some really good discussion today. We're going to close off now, so a big thank you to all candidates for taking part today, and a big thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch, whether you're here in the room with us or whether you're online on Instagram. Remember, you can join us at the same time tomorrow to hear from our Vice President candidates, and that voting opens next week on Tuesday and runs through to Thursday. Results will be announced next Friday at 2 p.m, but before then you can hear from all our candidates through their campaign videos, you can read all their manifestos, and you can find out anything else you need to know about the election on the Student Union's website. Good luck to all our candidates, and thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Goodbye.